Hey, so I haven't made a video in a while. I've been doing kind of reels and stuff, but my husband tagged me in something today that I thought I would use as part of my content because it actually pertains to me directly. So I am actually deaf. If you can see, I wear hearing devices to help with my hearing and communication. There is several things that I want to, he tagged me in something that was a list of things that you like never say to a deaf person, a hearing impaired person, and things of that nature. And I'd just like to point out a couple of things. First of all, don't laugh when they tell you they're deaf. We recently went on a trip to a theme park, and I'm not going to say which one, but when my husband, it was pouring rain and I had to take my hearing devices out because these are expensive, and if they get wet, it can ruin them. So, and these are Bluetooth, so I had to take them out and put them in a protective covering so that they wouldn't, because it was pouring rain. And the worker or whoever said something because the traveling vehicle that we were going to ride on was not working. And so the worker said something, and I looked at him and I said, "What did she say?" Because I have to read lips when I do not have these in. And so I was able to read his lips, and he informed her that I was deaf, and she proceeded to laugh at me. It's not funny. It is very difficult when these come out because it is a cone of silence. Don't laugh at somebody who is hearing impaired or deaf. When they tell you they're deaf, don't start yelling at them like they're, yelling at them is not going to make them hear any better. Yelling at them like they are stupid is not going to make them hear any better. They are deaf. They are not, they are not dumb. They just are deaf. Lip reading is a huge portion of communication for us. Loud sounds, hearing aids do not decipher sounds. And it took me a long time to actually talk about this because I lost my hearing when I was in my 20s. So going through my 20s and 30s with very difficult communication situations was hard. These are our communications. Some people don't have these. I was lucky enough to be able to get them. When these come out, they are a cone of silence, so we rely on lip reading. We have to write things down to communicate when we don't have these in. If we cannot see our lips, we cannot communicate a lot of times. Some of us who lost our hearing later in life do not have forms of sign language because we did not learn them. I think that sign language should be one of the second languages in schools, merely because there is a huge hearing impaired community that is overlooked a lot of times as far as they get to be adults or in the adult world. That can be very difficult. Again, they don't decipher sounds, they just amplify sounds. So when I am in a store, or if we are, somewhere and somebody has a TV going, somebody's trying to talk and somebody is trying to, and they turn something else on, it doesn't separate those sounds. It just makes them louder within my ear. It makes them louder within other individuals' ears. When things get too loud, these can hurt within the eardrums and hurt. I have two types of hearing loss. One of them is autosclerosis, which means that the bones behind my eardrums are bad. I was actually gonna get scheduled for this corrective surgery, and I found out I was pregnant. At this point, I have now two types of hearing loss, which means that regardless of surgery, I would still have to have hearing aid devices to help me communicate and hear things. I have to go in all the time to get tested and get them adjusted because my frequencies will change, my stuff like that. It does pair to my phone. It can pair to my iPad. I use those as forms. I used to be very shy about it and very embarrassed about it, and I have learned that a friend of mine actually helped me understand this. indifference doesn't mean inability. Just because I cannot hear doesn't mean that I cannot accomplish things. And I still, I'm actually getting ready to graduate with my bachelor's degree, and I did use services at my college in order to complete my classes. I spent time making sure that I had those services in place. I advocate for myself as far as those services. Now, do I take advantage? No. I've used the services less than a handful of times that I've needed them, which is when it comes to videos that are required for assignments. I require transcripts, because closed captioning, while it is a great feature, it does not always translate the way it needs to translate for us to have the correct information or to have all the information. So I'm actually going to post it on my page, the list that my husband posted me in, and it's things that you don't say to a hearing impaired person, and that's just a couple of things. There's several others that you wouldn't say. And I'm sorry, I'm at Walmart's a madhouse right now. Of course, it's right before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. But there is just things that you don't say to a hearing impaired individual. The louder things get, the louder it goes in our ears, the harder it actually can be to hear, because we're trying to separate all the sounds. And when you have so many sounds coming at once, it can be very chaotic inside your mind. It can be very chaotic to try to sort out situations. So just remember that when you are with a hearing impaired individual, especially, if they have hearing aids. Again, when they say they're hearing impaired, don't laugh at them. I felt very embarrassed when I was laughed at because of the hearing impairment. I had to take the hearing aids out because of the rain and the amounts of rain we were having, because it can short these out and they will not work, and it is very costly to get them fixed. So don't laugh when I go through a drive-through and I tell them that I am deaf. They will yell into the speaker. That doesn't fix the fact that I can't understand sometimes what they're saying, because it's coming over the speaker and I cannot see their lips moving. And that is speaking from my personal experience. So just think about that the next time somebody tells you that they are deaf or they are hearing impaired. There's a lot of things that go into it. Like I said, it can be very chaotic in your mind when you have so many sounds and so many things going at once and you're trying to sort them all out. So just keep that in mind whenever somebody talks about that or tries to say that they are hearing impaired. There is an etiquette to talking to us. There is an etiquette to how to communicate with us so that it doesn't come across that way. So check it out. It's on my page and see what you think. Let me know in the comments if you yourself are hearing impaired, if you know somebody who is, if you learn sign language, anything like that. Just let me know, because I would actually like to meet more individuals. A lot of people will lose their hearing as a child. I lost mine as an adult. So my son learned how to communicate, like they will flip a light switch for me to know if they've come into a room. They will knock on something because it will, I feel the vibration. They will like throw a piece of paper at me, like a wadded up piece of paper, not in a mean way. It's forms of communication. When my son was taking swimming lessons and we were at the pool, I could not have my hearing aids in. So he would like pull on my arm, or he would turn my face to get me to be able to see him. Or to look at him so he could communicate with me. He knows these are my ears. He knows that those are my forms of communication. So he is learning alternative forms of communication with me, so that he can communicate with me. So if you guys have any questions, I am happy to answer them. This is again from my perspective. But check out my list that I'm going to post, and let me know in the comments what you think, and if you have actually, dealt with or are hearing impaired yourself. Let me know what you think, guys.